Spoiled brats think that the world revolves around them. So it's honestly not a surprise that in this story time, the entitled rich kid tries to make the subscriber's birthday all about himself and only ends up ruining the entire party. This is pretty crazy, so let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Brody, right? So anyways, it was Brody's birthday, and one thing that happens at Brody's school is if any kid there has a birthday party, they must invite every kid in the class. I know this was actually true for my middle school and when I was in like kindergarten through, I don't know, 8th grade probably. But the thing is, the way that they see it is like they don't want some kids to feel left out. It's a little kind of a bit of it like encroaching on your own ability to pick and choose, because it's like, I'm doing this on my own private time. Can I not at least choose the people at my own birthday party? But I kind of do understand where the school is coming from. However you feel about it doesn't matter, because either way, Brody had to invite everybody. So there was a spoiled kid in Brody's class. There were maybe a few, but there was one that was really, really bad. And we're just going to call him the spoiled kid. And like every other spoiled kid, he kind of believed that the world was meant to revolve around him. The world did not revolve around the sun. No, that is incorrect. It revolves around the spoiled kid, in fact. I just want to get your facts straight a little bit. So sure enough, the spoiled kid has to be invited to Brody's birthday party as well. So let's jump ahead to the day of the birthday party. So Brody has a really cool birthday party planned. So there's a local mall that is close to everyone who goes to Brody's school, and that mall is pretty well known for putting on pretty good birthdays. So they have a laser tag event, they'll give you pizza, they'll facilitate a really cool birthday party. So anyways, at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, is the time for Brody's birthday party. Brody and his mom get there a little bit early so that they can set up and make sure everything is ready. So they get there and people start arriving around 3. So the kids and the moms, they all start to show up, and Brody sees some of his close friends. We'll say Ben and Tyler, right? They show up. So Brody's really excited. He kind of like pairs off with them. And like, since everyone in his grade is going to be there, Brody knows he doesn't need to talk to everyone or be super like involved with everyone, since they're going to be able to pair off with their friends anyways. So the first activity is laser tag. And I don't know if you guys have ever played laser tag at the mall, but it is such a fun activity, dude. Like, I genuinely would like to go with my college friends. And look, I'm 20, bro. Like, this is not just for kids. Laser tag is for all ages because it's a lot of fun. But laser tag, especially back in the day with birthday parties, was just such a fun event in my opinion, right? So Brody was really excited for laser tag. So anyways, one of the administrators, or we'll just say the staff, right? So this staff member comes out and says, hey, like, little announcement, anyone who wants to play laser tag, like, make sure to meet over here in the next 5 minutes and we'll get you suited up. We'll give you the safety instructional video and then we'll let you go in. Brody was really excited, and he turns to his friends Tyler and Ben. They're really excited too. And basically everybody in the class wants to do it. I think there's a few kids who didn't want to do it because that's not really their cup of tea or whatever. So they were going to stay out and chill and do some, I don't know, some of the arcade type activities. Because there was also like a whole arcade area. So it's like it wasn't like they weren't going to have fun, right? So sure enough, 5 minutes passes and everyone's anxiously awaiting for the staff member to come back outside because, he's going to give them the good news of, oh, right, like, let's get right into it. So anyways, he brings over all the uniforms. So if you've never played laser tag, basically, you're given this big metal vest or whatever, or mechanical vest that has like two big, like it has something on the front and something on the back. And you're also given a laser gun that is attached to your metal vest or your mechanical vest. So basically, you try and shoot people either in the front or the back because there's a big kind of like target on the front and the back. And if you shoot someone, it will like disable their gun so that they can't shoot other people. And so the goal of it is going to be 2v2, or not 2v2, two teams, right? So one team versus the other team. And basically, you try and eliminate all the other people. And so the guy goes through the safety instructional video, basically says stuff like, don't hit other people. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you strap it on. Obviously, like, don't climb up on top of anything that isn't supposed to be, like, climbed on top of. So there was a lot of, like, obstacles or whatever and, like, fun decorations in the laser tag room. He basically just said, like, dude, don't climb all over our stuff, please. Like, come on now. And, so that was it, and they were let in. So the spoiled kid and Brody were on two different teams. And Brody definitely wanted to win because, I don't know, like everyone wants to win a laser tag. But the spoiled kid wanted to win at just the whole new level. Like, the spoiled kid was willing to just go and, like, he wanted to win. And since, the whole world revolves around the spoiled kid, obviously, he wasn't going to let anything stop him from, from winning, right? Nothing was going to stop this kid from winning. So sure enough, right, they go in there, and first round, they're having a lot of fun. And the spoiled kid is going very sweaty, trying his very hardest to, dodge bullets and shoot people down. I mean, everyone is. You can't really blame the spoiled kid on this. But basically, the spoiled kid gets shot in, his little vest thing. So his vest lights up, and then his laser gun stops working. And the spoiled kid's like, that wasn't fair. And the kid who, shot him was like, dude, what do you mean that wasn't fair? He's like, I wasn't ready. Which, bro, what do you mean you weren't ready? Of course you weren't ready. That's the whole point. They got you when you weren't seeing it coming, or you just weren't prepared. If you were prepared, the person wouldn't have gotten you. That's the whole point of the game, dude. But yeah, so sure enough, the spoiled kid starts yelling or whatever, and most kids aren't even paying attention to this, but Brody, the subscriber, is aware of this, because I feel like Brody, as the guest, or he's not the guest, the host of his party, he's always a little bit more aware of how things are going, how people are talking with each other, stuff along those lines, right? So yeah, he kind of notices all of this, even though most people don't. The thing is, though, the spoiled kid, right, he is starting to get really upset. He's like, I wasn't ready. I demand a redo. This is unacceptable. So the spoiled kid walks up to the staff member who's in there just to make sure everything's going normally. And the kids go back to playing, right? If you get tagged, you kind of sit to the side and watch as other people play, with the laser guns, right? So this kid, the spoiled kid, goes up to the staff member, and he's like, this guy shot me when I wasn't ready. And the staff member looks at him kind of like, dude, what do you mean you weren't ready? This isn't really all about, are you ready or not? And he says to him, oh, sorry, man, we're playing another round, so just wait until then. The spoiled kid, very angrily, is like, fine. And he kind of, walks over to the side and, grumpily sits against the wall. And it's like, dude, chill out. It's literally laser tag. And it's not even, the one game and you're done. You have multiple more rounds to go. I don't know, man. Next time, just do better. Just don't get shot, bro. I don't know. Is it really that hard? So sure enough, eventually there's a winning team, because the birthday kid, a.k.a. Brody, his team has 3 people. The other team has 0 at the very end, so they win. And they decide, so the teams are reshuffled, and they go again. This time, Brody and the spoiled kid are on the same team. And the spoiled kid is goes up to Brody and is like, yo, dude, we got to be doubles or whatever. Basically going up to the kid being like, you and I, let's flank them together. And, the spoiled kids, or the Brody, the birthday kid's like, yeah, sure, dude, whatever, cool. So they start the round and they're going in, and Brody and the spoiled kid are actually a pretty good duo. They're doing pretty good. So Brody and the spoiled kid are kind of, taking people down, taking big W's. They're doing really well. But this one guy outflanked both of them and was able to shoot both of them and get them both out really quickly. And the spoiled kid is like, what? And Brody's like, oh, good shot, man, whatever. And Brody's like, all right, man, let's go to the side and see how our team does. And the spoiled kid is like, no, I'm not doing that, man. That guy was obviously cheating. And Brody's like, what? And the spoiled kid's like, yeah, he was hacking IRL. And Brody's like, dude, what do you mean hacking IRL? How does someone hack IRL? Isn't that just called cheating? I just don't understand where you're coming from here. And so anyways, right, Brody keeps going on about or the spoiled kid goes on about yeah, it's he was cheating, he was doing something. So he goes up to the staff guy and he starts complaining again. And the staff guy remembers him, the spoiled kid, as the last kid from last time who was complaining over nothing. So the staff member looks at him and is like, little bro, you got to stop. You got tagged by the laser gun. You got to chill out and you're good, whatever. So at this point, the spoiled kid, instead of just going back, returns back into the battlefield. But remember, his laser gun no longer works because he got tagged. So instead of fighting people with the laser gun or shooting people with the laser gun, he takes the laser gun and he starts swinging at people on the enemy team. he just starts swinging at them with the laser gun, trying to like hit them with it. And remember, this is a pretty big chunky piece of plastic, right? This isn't like some, I don't know, some big metal sword or something, but it is like if you make good contact with someone's head or something, it's definitely going to hurt a little bit. Like, I don't know. So sure enough, the staff member sees this and he has to literally pause the game. Like he has to shut down the whole game. He's like, no, you can't be doing that. Stop. And the spoiled kid's like swinging. He's like, meow, meow. He's just like swinging on it. They have to pause the game. The staff member has to escort the spoiled kid out of the whole game or whatever. And because the staff member has to go escort him out of the game is turned off. And it's like 15 minutes of like the staff member like dealing with the spoiled kid. And by the time the staff member gets back, he's like, hey guys, I'm so sorry, but your time slot is up. There's another party that's coming in the next 5 minutes, so we got to call this short. So yeah, basically because of the spoiled kid, they had to stop playing. Like they had to cut their laser tag a little bit early, which is just the first of many things the spoiled kid has done. Real quick, comment tag down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. Also, if you want to listen on Spotify, it'll be the pinned comment in the description. There'll be a link in there. And if you're listening on Spotify, please rate 5 stars. And finally, the best way to support the channel, the very best way to support the channel on YouTube, is to just binge watch these videos. So please let me know how many of these videos have you watched today, because the more videos you watch on the channel, the more you support it, and I really appreciate it. I'm just curious who's watching the videos, and I'd love to hear it. So anyways, let's get back to it. As Brody's birthday is about to be completely destroyed by the spoiled kid. So anyways, laser tag was the first activity, but now it was time for cake. Yeah, so sure enough, the birthday kid's mom, is like, all right guys, let's go to the whatever lunch table type thing, because it was like an arcade setting. So there's a lot of arcade games, a ball pit, obviously the laser tag, but you needed to reserve that. And then there was also kind of like a lunch type area that they reserved for like parties or whatever. And Brody's parents reserved one of the tables. And so they're all heading over and they sat down. So the first thing that they had was like pizza or whatever. And there was no issues there. The spoiled kid didn't like eat all the pizza or something. He's not that big of a boy, right? But the issue comes when it's time for cake. So in at least a lot of people I know, the tradition for your birthday is you come out with a cake and you have a bunch of candles, and the person whose birthday it is blows out the candles. And it's really not a thing for anyone else to blow out those candles unless the birthday kid explicitly says, hey, I want everyone to blow out the candles with me, or I want someone to, unless the kid says it out loud, like it is just super, super not a cool thing for you to just go ahead and blow them out. However, right, you have to remember, the spoiled kid truly believes that the world revolves around him. He genuinely believes that if he wants something, he should get it, and it's justified because if he wants, he should get. So sure enough, right, the spoiled kid felt like he wasn't getting enough attention. I mean, he just came off of not winning the laser tag, which made him big mad, right? So at this point, he also isn't getting all the attention from literally everyone, which is an absolute crime. I 100% agree. Sarcasm. So the spoiled kid is noticing that, after eating all the pizza or whatever, like some parents go behind, like they walk away and then they come out. And so the birthday kid, Brody, his mom comes out with a cake. It has a bunch of candles on it. They're all lit. And they all start singing happy birthday. So they're singing the happy birthday song. They're moving not spoiled kid. The birthday kid, Brody's mom, has come walking over very slowly to the table with the cake. And Brody's sitting down, and the spoiled kid happens to be sitting down right next to him. So Brody's mom puts the cake on the table, and the idea is at the end of singing happy birthday, Brody, as the birthday kid, is going to be the one who blows out the candles. But right before the song ends, the spoiled kid is like, blows out all the candles. And literally everyone goes dead silent. They don't even finish the song. They just go dead silent. It's a super awkward situation. I really don't know what went through the spoiled kid's mind. I think he was like, oh my God, I'm not getting all the attention at this very second. This is unacceptable. I must get all the attention always. So he decided that he wanted to be the one who blew out the candles. So yeah, the spoiled kid's mom sees this and is like, oh no, dude. Because look, everyone knows that you don't blow out someone else's candles, bro. That's the worst thing you can do. I'm sure there's worse things, but you know what I mean. Not a great thing to do. So, Brody doesn't take it that, he doesn't, take it that personally. He doesn't really care that much. He's like, okay, well, I kind of wanted to blow the candles out, but whatever, I guess, right? I'll just have some of the cake, right? It's cool. It's whatever. But so the spoiled kid's mom, immediately after the spoiled kid, after 20 seconds of an awkward silence, after he blows out the candles, comes over, and the spoiled kid mom, grabs him by the scruff of his, shirt or whatever and drags him out to, another room, a private room to go talk with him or something, to give him a little bit of a talk, because he needs a little bit of a talking to right now. So the spoiled kid was out of the picture for a little bit. So they're all having cake or whatever, and the spoiled kid's mom eventually walks back into the room. But the spoiled kid does not walk back into the room with her. So Brody, the birthday boy, overhears his mom walk over to the spoiled kid's mom and say, hey, does your son want a piece of cake? We can walk, where is he? And the spoiled kid's mom says, oh, he's in a timeout right now. I'm so sorry for what my son did. Stuff like that, right? I'm sorry, I feel really bad. He will not be getting any cake. He will not be rewarded for such bad behavior, stuff like that. And Brody's mom was like, oh, okay. Brody's mom was not going to push back on this, because I think Brody's mom 100% agreed that it is totally not okay behavior to blow out someone else's candles. And yeah, maybe I don't think she really wanted to give the spoiled kid any cake, but I think she felt like she kind of needed to, just out of I don't know, out of common courtesy or whatever. So yeah, anyways, the spoiled kid is not done. You guys might be thinking, oh, the spoiled kid, destroyed the laser tag game. He blew out the candles. That's pretty bad. Nope. The spoiled kid is not done yet, because while he was put in a quote unquote timeout, that basically meant that the spoiled kid had free reign to go wherever he wanted and do whatever damage that he wanted. Because the spoiled kid's mom was not staying in there when he was in the quote-unquote timeout. She came back. And yeah, that was about to be a pretty big mistake by her. So sure enough, after cake, it's time to open the presents. And so anyways, when people first arrived at 3 on that Saturday, there was a big table right in the front of the room that said, Brody's party, put presents here, whatever. So all the people went over there, and that's where they put the presents. So the whole idea was after cake, everyone was going to walk back into the main arcade type area, and they were going to watch as Brody went through and opened up all the presents. I know, at least for a lot of birthday parties that, I went to, and even my own back in 4th, 5th grade or whatever, I would never have this section. People would bring presents sometimes, but I wouldn't open them in front of them, because I feel like if you don't, you either have to give everyone the same reaction or no reaction. Because I kind of feel like when you're opening presents in front of people, if you're oh, thanks, and then you're oh my God, thank you, to a different one, you just make the people feel bad. And so it was just so much easier just to not open presents in front of people. But a lot of people do it either way. So anyways, the plan was for Brody to go in and open up all the presents. However, the spoiled kid, who has ruined everything up until this point, has also ruined this. So anyways, everyone's kind of done eating their cake. So, Brody's mom says, all right, guys, let's get up and let's go into the arcade room so we can open some presents. And by we, she meant they can watch her son open presents, as that's how it normally goes. Why would anyone else besides him open the presents? Hint, hint. So anyways, they all walk in. And when they walk in, they see a crazy sight in front of them. They see something that they were not expecting. Basically, this is the spoiled kid's revenge. So they walk into the arcade room, and instead of seeing a big pile of wrapped presents, they see a massive pile of shredded wrapping paper on the floor. And they see all these presents all over the place, unwrapped. Some of them have literally been opened up and played with. And sure enough, the spoiled kid is sitting right in the middle of all this chaos. So basically what happened is when the spoiled kid was put on a quote-unquote timeout, instead of just sitting there, he decided to wander around, and he saw a big table full of presents that he did know were for Brody. And he was like, you know what? I'm bored, and the world revolves around me. So I'm just going to open up all these presents as if these were my presents to open up in the first place. Yeah, I'm not even kidding right now. So sure enough, the spoiled kid had opened up every single present and had actually not just unwrapped them, had literally broken the plastic off of. He was building some Legos when they came in there. And at that point, the spoiled kid's mom was like, oh my God, Jeremy, let's call the spoiled kid Jeremy, Jeremy, what have you done? And obviously, Brody, the subscriber, is pretty disappointed. He's like, dude, what? Because, the presents you get are cool, but honestly, such a big part of the present, the joy of it, is the anticipation as you're opening it up. That's sometimes better than the present itself, I'm not going to lie. So the spoiled kid basically stole that from him. The spoiled kid at this point has stolen the laser tag, stolen blowing out the candles, and stolen the joy of opening the presents. So the spoiled kid's mom grabs him, goes up to the Brody's mom, and is like, you apologize to Brody and his mom right now. And the spoiled kid's like, I'm sorry for, I don't know. He gives some really trash apology. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to take my son out of here and punish him or something. So yeah, the spoiled kid's mom, I'm sure, quote unquote, punishes him by saying, that was very bad. Okay, here's some ice cream. Just give some trash punishment, because if she was a good parent in the first place, stuff like this just wouldn't be happening, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, the spoiled kid is escorted out of there. It's just kind of Brody and all the other people. The parents were like, oh, we're so sorry this happened. And Brody's like, no, it's fine. Can you guys just tell me who gave what? Because now I don't know. So what ended up happening was, it was almost they recovered a little bit. So basically, each kid would run into the pile of opened presents, and they would go and Brody would turn around with his eyes closed. So the kids would run in, they would grab their present for Brody, and then they would walk over and hand it to him. So there was still a little bit of a surprise factor. What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. Today we have a story of probably one of the most spoiled girls ever. You guys probably think that you know some person who's really spoiled and entitled and has done some pretty crazy stuff. Well, take that person, think of them, and multiply it by 100, and that is the girl in today's video. You are not going to want to miss this, so sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, drop a like in the video to claim your free nothing, and let's jump right into it. So anyways, we're going to call the We're going to call the girl who submitted this story Louise. Louise from Bob's Burgers, a show that I like. Anyways, right, there's another girl in Louise's class who we're going to call Lexi, right? So anyways, a little backstory on Lexi, because Lexi's the spoiled girl. I'm either going to call her the spoiled girl or I'm going to call her Lexi. Either way, whichever I'm feeling, right? Anyways, this all started, people kind of knew her as the spoiled girl, but people really, and I mean really, knew her the spoiled girl after this incident a couple weeks ago. So basically, the teacher, or Louise and Lexi were in the same class, and the teacher was asking just a very broad general, I don't know why this question was being asked. I didn't get any context about what the class was, but for some reason, the teacher asked, what are some compromises your parents have made? I legit don't know what the class was, but for some reason that was asked. And people went around, and someone was one of my parents sold a car because they could only afford to have one anymore. Some people said my mom and dad are divorced, and they came together for my they came together for my birthday party and settled their differences so that I could have a good time. So really solid, wholesome replies. Some people just didn't have any some people didn't have any deep answers. They're oh, we didn't know what to get to eat, so we had Italian or something. I don't know, stuff like that. But Lexi's response was the interesting one. Because Lexi said, oh yeah, no, recently this crazy thing happened. My mom wanted to go to a 5-star resort in Hawaii, and my dad wanted to go to a 5-star resort in Mexico, so we decided that we go to a 5-star resort in the Bahamas. It took a lot of fighting back and forth, but eventually my parents came together and made a really big compromise. And everyone's looking at her. You know that meme where everyone's looking back with that face at someone, right? Insert that meme right here. because everyone was like, bro, hey, yo, bro. First of all, what? Second of all, was it necessary? Was it necessary that you had to add in the fact that you were going to a 5-star resort? That literally just says, oh yeah, I'm spending a lot of money because I'm going on vacation, and I'm spending even more money because I'm specifying that I'm going to an expensive hotel. I'm not going to a poor person hotel. I'm going to an expensive one. Wah, wah, wah. Like, bro, like at that point, bro, you might as well just take out your wallet and throw your Amex black cards at the faces of the people around you, bro. So anyways, that's a little context of Lexi. This all started a week later after that. So they were put in random groups for whatever this class was about, and Louise and Lexi were put in a group together. And Louise and Lexi didn't really know each other before this, but Louise is a very, she's a very open and friendly person, and she was ready and very willing to give Lexi the benefit of the doubt. And so they're in their group or whatever, and they kind of finish their work early, and they just start talking, or at least Louise starts a conversation. And at first, Lexi actually seems very nice. And that's one thing. Lexi is an interesting spoiled kid because unlike some of the other spoiled kids I've told on the channel before, Lexi isn't like evil. None of them are really evil, but Lexi isn't like a mean person. She just says stuff and doesn't realize how out of touch with reality she is when she says it. And things were actually going really well between Louise and Lexi. Louise was starting to she's starting to like her. Be like, oh, we actually have a lot in common. At least when they didn't talk about where they bought their clothes or where they went on vacation, at least they didn't have a lot in common then. Or if they spoke about that. But, they're just talking about how, oh, Mr. Who and so is so difficult, or, oh my God, like, did you hear about what happened with the teacher? They got exposed, all that kind of stuff. And they were hitting it off really well. And for some reason, Lexi brings up, and yeah, you know what? And if this school ever if anything ever happens that I don't like this school would not, if I threaten them, they would definitely comply, because they know that if I threaten to sue them, I got the resources to back it up. And bro just said, and at this point, Louise was just looking at her like, you were doing so good. You were doing so good for so long, and then you had to whip that out. This girl, Lexi, really came out and said, oh, if the school ever does something that I don't like, I'm going to tell them that my parents will sue them, and the school will back down to my demands because they know that my parents have money like that. Yeah, this girl was really like that, bro. So immediately Louise was like, looks like this girl is just like how I thought she would be. But whatever, right? So they keep on having a conversation, but Louise is definitely a bit more like, bro, are you serious right now? She's kind of in that type of okay, whatever, right? We're just going to power through the rest of this day, or the rest of this the last video. I'm making a lot of videos right now. We're just going to power through the rest of this conversation. And, unfortunately, the rest of the conversation was actually really cool. I say unfortunately because the thing that she said, Louise was legit going to try and become friends with Lexi after this. But then, Louise actually is pretty happy that she didn't become friends with Lexi, because Lexi was about to go down, just completely fall off a cliff reputation-wise. So as I said earlier, and by the examples I gave you guys, Lexi was already kind of known as one of the spoiled kids and entitled kids, or whatever you want to call them, right? So she always had a bit of that reputation. However, she also had a bit of a reputation that she was very nice, or not very nice, but just a not a cruel, mean-spirited person. But that is until a couple days later, they got a test back in the class that they had. Remember, I don't know what class this is, but this is the one that Louise has with Lexi. And the teacher was walking around, handing back these tests, and Lexi was kind of just sitting there. And, she gets the test back, and Louise looks over, and she sees this expression on Lexi's face. And it is incredibly clear that Lexi is not very happy. She's not having a good time. She is not a happy camper right now, to say the very least. Yeah, so anyways, right, at this point, Lexi, who already went on a rampage about how her parents will sue the school, right, Lexi goes on to raise her hand. And raise it shake it around a little bit, kind of do it pretentiously or whatever. And the teacher turns around and walks back. And Lexi's like, I think you made a mistake on this one. And, Louise is overhearing the entire thing. And the teacher's like, no, I don't think I made a mistake on this one. This adds up. This is like the grade you got. And like, he's like, no, I don't think so, actually. I think you're going to want to check this over again. And she was saying it with this like really annoying voice and was like, bro, what do you, like, you're not the one with the power dynamic here, bro. Your teacher's the one giving you the grades. But the teacher's like, no, this is your grade. This is like what you got. I can check it over again, but I guarantee you it would be the same. And I think Lexi kind of just assumed that this teacher would bow down to her because she had rich parents, because Lexi looked all shocked and confused. She's like, what? And she turns to the teacher and she's like, do you know what happens when people cross me? And Louise is overhearing the whole thing. And Louise kind of looks around and like no one else is paying attention. It's like no one else is even paying attention to what's going on right now, bro. And Louise continues to like listen in on the conversation, obviously, because it's very interesting. And Lexi's like, this is abuse of a student right here, and points to like her grade. And my parents have a team of lawyers and they will sue. And just so you know, we will keep fighting in court until we win, either by the court of law saying that we win or before you quit, because we won't stop. At this point, the teacher looks at her and is like, all right, bring it on, bro. And Lexi just gives her this look of like complete shock, because no one has ever stood up to her before in her entire life. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment spoiled down below. I know that's the secret word I use in most spoiled kid videos, but I'm not trying to trick you guys with a secret word. I'm just trying to give you all a word so you can comment it, and I can heart it as many of them as I possibly can. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video to claim your free nothing. And if you want to support the channel, after you're done watching this video or later on in the day, go ahead and watch a bunch of my old videos. An easy way to do that is the pinned comment down below is a playlist of all my videos. And also make sure to comment down below how many videos of mine you've watched today or this week. It's really cool to see you guys say, oh, I've watched 10 videos or something, because that really does help out the channel. Anyways, though, let's get back to it. So the teacher holds her ground firmly. However, a couple days later, and this is alleged at this point, but this is just what Louise heard, that the Lexi's grade was actually changed by the teacher because Lexi forged some, or like had her parents send in some kind of like official document or something that like this teacher would be taken to court. And word spread really quickly about this. Like, this was low-key a scandal, bro. Because, like, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was talking about the spoiled girl who, like, threatened to sue her teacher because she got a bad grade. And Lexi's rep just plummeted. And unfortunately, I think the grade was actually changed because even though it was a faulty case, I think the teacher realized that, giving this girl a bad grade even though she deserved it versus probably the thousands of dollars of legal fees for a false, like, court case or whatever against a family that had unlimited money, it wasn't, bro, on a teacher salary, you're not taking an indefinite court case, bro. You hate to see it. So at this point, all, like, the kids are starting to, like, not like Lexi that much. Then we thought that, like, she was kind of, I don't know, kind of like a spoiled kid or whatever, but they never thought that she was like the worst person ever. Now they were kind of thinking that she was pretty bad because word started to spread that she was threatening to sue her teacher because she got a bad grade. And the thing is, nobody liked that. Nobody thought that was cool, and yeah. So things were looking pretty bad for Lexi, but Lexi legitimately buried, she dug the grave that she was about to step in and dig herself, and literally fill in the hole, bro. She was about to KO herself. She was about to do herself in with this. Because you guys might have thought, wow, the last couple of things I heard, that's something that like a really spoiled kid would do. You guys are not ready for what you're about to hear. Strap in, get your, cringe, is the right word. Get your cringe goggles on so that you don't get any cringe radiation poisoning at this point. Because it's actually that bad. Yeah. So anyways, right? It's Lexi's birthday. She is turning 16. The big 1-6. You know what I did for my big 16th birthday party? I came downstairs. My mom had a nice little candle thing. It had my name in letters. It was actually really nice. Like my favorite thing for my birthday would every day I'd come down and I would like my parents would have something set up and there'd be like a little card and everything. It was legit the greatest. However, like I was not getting I was not getting a private jet for my 16th birthday, bro. I can never understand why people are like, "Oh my God, my mom didn't buy me a house for my 16th birthday. I'm turning 16." Yeah, bro, you're turning 16. Time to go get a job, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. But anyways, right, it's her 16th birthday. And because Lexi's family is Lexi's family, she knows that she's going to get a really big present. And for a lot of girls who, like, you know, their parents want to dish out a ton of money on their 16th birthday, a pretty common present is a car. And by common, I don't mean common like, oh, every 16-year-old gets a car. Bro, I'm saying like, if you got like insanely rich parents, they may or may not give you a car, bro. Like, that's pretty crazy. And especially, Lexi didn't want any old car. She doesn't want a beater car. If the car costs less than $20,000, it's basically straight to the scrapyard for you. No. She wanted a very specific car. And basically, Lexi's dad was going to quote-unquote surprise her. I think Lexi told her dad to show up in front of everyone with a gift so that they could see it and feel jealous or something. But anyways, Lexi's dad was going to quote-unquote surprise her in the parking lot when everyone, like when the bell rang and everyone went outside, like her magic big car was going to be out there. So anyways, on Lexi's birthday, you know, she's sitting in class, all excited, the bell rings, she practically runs outside, right? And all the other kids follow because that's where they're going, because that's where they either get picked up by their parents or they walk home or they get on the bus. And sure enough, there's a car. And there's a car outside. It looks brand new, which first of all, a little bit of financial advice from me. Don't buy a car new. Unless you get like real, no, just don't do that. You lose like 30% of the value as soon as it goes off the lot. I'm not a car expert. I don't even own a car, if I'm being honest. We'll get there someday. But just don't do that, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, though, there's a brand new car, and you 100% knew that this was a gift because it had those like novelty big red bows that you see in commercials. Lexi's dad bought one of these, and immediately Lexi stops, and everyone looks at her, and she like stops for a second. She freezes up, and you see that like tears start running down her face. And immediately, everybody thinks that, oh, she's probably crying out of joy. She's probably crying out of excitement. So everyone's kind of like, they're a little bit jealous. I mean, Bros just got a car, dude. Bros has got a car for her 16th. That's crazy. But they're also like, this is nice, I guess. Like, her dad got her a present. It's a nice father-daughter bonding experience or whatever, right? But at the same time, I don't know, I'm not trying to see this. But then people started to realize something. What is that, you might be asking? People started to realize that these were not tears of joy. These were tears of being upset, which is the craziest thing ever. Because at this point, Louise is close enough to Lexi to hear her mumbling something. What is she mumbling, you might ask? Great question. She is mumbling, like, no, I wanted a Lexus, not a BMW, no. Yeah, also, what was that voice, bro? 1 like equals 1 prayer for whatever that was. But yeah, at this point, Louise basically stops in her track and realizes that Lexi is crying. She is crying because she received a BMW, a very fancy, nice car, but she didn't get the other fancy, nice car, aka the Lexus that she wanted. Bro, they go for like the same amount. What is this? And also, it's a car. None of your friends have cars, and it's new, and it's a BMW, bro. What? Huh? I'm personally mad confused right now, but anyways, right, her dad's like standing there, and oh man, Louise was telling me via Instagram DMs, because she submitted the story to me on Instagram. You can submit your stories to me on Instagram. Follow me and then send me a DM with your story. Links in the description. She was telling me that probably one of the saddest scenes that she's ever seen was the look on Lexi's dad's face. Bro, it's even hard for me to say, because that's when he realized, because he saw that his daughter was crying because she got a Lexus and she got a BMW and not a Lexus. The world is so cruel, man, that she was crying for that reason. And it's at that moment her dad realizes, oh my God, man, I raised this girl. I created the monster. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it, do it.